Okay, welcome back. This is Wayne Madsen with the Wayne Madsen Report, the Sunday Roundup, and we're coming to you live this May Day from Washington, D.C. Happy May Day, everyone. And the toll-free number, if you'd like to call the program, is 800-313-9443. That's 800-313-9443. Yes, it was interesting what Bill had to say, Bill from Ohio, about the unions and the collapse. But I think in many respects, we always heard, well, the unions, people pay union dues and they're not getting anything out of it. But then they'd see the union leadership always, being used as basic props by people like Clinton to get NAFTA through, when in fact the union should have called a massive national strike to combat NAFTA, because let's face it, Ross Perot in '92, he was right when he said what NAFTA is going to do. He said that giant sucking sound, that's all the jobs going to go to Mexico. Well, they not only went to Mexico, but entire factories, if they weren't closed, were picked up and moved to places like China and Mexico and other countries. And of course, Ross Perot had his quirks, but he happened to be right about that issue. And today you just see the union leadership, people like Richard Trumka, just basically signing on to the Obama healthcare program, which was nothing more than a huge giveaway to the insurance companies. There's no single payer involved with that. So this was not extending Medicare coverage. And now Medicare itself, for those who really need it, the elderly, is under assault by these corporatists. And the unions have been, at least the union leadership has been woefully silent. Now, we saw some mid-level union people get involved in the protests in Wisconsin. I thought that was a good sign. They've also been involved in the protests in Ohio and other states, because what they're saying is there's an attempt to just basically obliterate unions, obliterate public schools, obliterate public school teachers. And this is what the Koch brothers and their gang at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce want to do. They want everything privatized, from the post office to Social Security, to everything that was implemented after the last major screw over by corporations, and that brought us the Great Depression of the 1930s. Let's go to Sherry in Kansas, and we'll keep Sherry over the break. And Sherry,
hey,
are you with us? Hi, Sherry.
I got something to throw in the mix on what happened. I don't know if this was something I read that Gus Seltzer wrote, or if it was in the Spotlight or American Free Press, but they said that the people pushing the trade liberalization in the 60s, and I was just a pup back then, so I don't remember it, but
yeah,
they were saying that because these corporations had enough money that they didn't need to borrow from the banks were the ones that were pushing the free trade laws, because they wanted to loan the money to start these things overseas. And that makes sense to me.
Yeah. And they got these tax breaks, as we know that many of these corporations pay no taxes. General Electric, whose CEO is one of Obama's jobs advisors, believe it or not, pay no taxes. You look to see where these corporations have all these contrivances, where they have these operations set up in these offshore tax havens in Bermuda and the Cayman Islands and these, Dubai and these other countries.
Yeah, but I think that's who was
just to skirt the tax laws and we'll be back to Sherry from Kansas right after this short break. This is Wayne Madsen from Washington.